Good afternoon, everybody. It's John here from DIY Life on Mount Tammany Ridge, and once again, we're not doing anything DIY. We're actually helping a local horse owner. I had helped them fix a hydrant a couple towns away from here that they were having an issue with a leak. And I had to put a rebuild kit in there and kind of MacGyver a couple things just to get them by until they could get their hands on the rest of the rebuild kit. As you know, parts have been pretty hard to source, at least within a timely manner that we're used to. So during that project, I had to cut a hole behind the hydrant. Because the wall behind the hydrant was literally maybe 3/4 of an inch of space between the hydrant head on the pump and the wall. So for me to remove the top of the hydrant, I had to twist the head counterclockwise to remove it. But with the wall there, clearly that gave us a little bit of a problem. So with really no other choice other than ripping the whole wall out or ripping the hydrant out of the concrete floor, which neither of those obviously were an option. So I ended up having to cut a cubby hole in the wall so I could turn the hydrant off, and I can proceed with finding out what it was that needed to be fixed. So the project that we're doing today is actually going to be building the cubby to hide the new hole in the wall. So the project today that we're going to be doing is going to be building the little cubby little box to put in the cavity of the wall that we had to cut to remove the hydrant. So now for any future hydrant rebuilds, I will have this cubby in there, and I will make it so that it will be removable for any future hydrant rebuilds for the customer. So we're going to be using some customers supplied materials, and they're trying to do this on a budget. They're trying to make something come together for them without having to go really crazy. When they first called me to come in and do kind of like a hydrant rescue type of thing, they had it in their head that they were going to have to pay somebody a lot of money to come in with a concrete saw and remove the old hydrant and dig up the old one. So I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I give them an affordable, far more affordable solution to the problem. So here are some of the materials. Actually, one right behind me here on the miter saw bench. So just some, 1x3. I guess that's probably 1x4. It's really 1x3.5, but some, inexpensive, no frills, no thrills. So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to be using some of this material. I'm going to be using some of the pre-existing plywood that I had cut out of the wall. So the reason why I took this with me was, one, I can repurpose it for the back of the cubby that I'm building, and I can also use the dimensions here to establish how big, or I should say how small I can make the cubby so that I have some room for squaring it up in the hole back there, and also because I have to drop it in on a downward angle behind the hydrant, I want to make sure that I don't make the cubby too deep, or otherwise this back edge is going to prevent me from being able to put it in. So I can actually make the cubby itself smaller in dimensions so that I can allow that room to get it in there. And because the face frame is going to be 3 inches probably all the way around, that gives me, it's like a face frame, and it gives me room so I can still cover the cavity in the wall, still have a nice cubby to install, and hopefully it will go in smoothly. Wonderful life of GoPro inconveniences. So here we are. I'm going to start getting to cutting this plywood here on the table saw to a little bit of a smaller size, make sure everything's square, and then from there I will move forward with really trying to get to the sizes and dimensions that our final sizes and dimensions we need this to be. So I'm gonna set you up somewhere, and hopefully this camera will stop shutting off on me when it feels like it, and we'll do this GoPro Hero 9 style over and over and over again and again. Let's see where we go with this. So what I've had to do here is, because when I had to cut this out, I had to kind of cut it out in a little bit of a crude manner. So because of that, you know, without being able to use any real accurate tools, I have to establish new, you know, square factory type edges so that I have a new one to work off of. So once I get this up against the fence and I establish a square edge on this side, then I won't have to worry about this side anymore, because I'll be able to put the new square edge up against the fence and then true up this side. So just give me a few moments here and I'll get right to it. Hopefully the camera don't shut off again. It's probably shut off 6 times now. All right, so you may have noticed when my my material got jammed up on here, okay? Back here, this red plate here is removable so that you can maintain access, remove, you know, your blade, whatever, you know, whatever it is you need to do. And in this particular style one, it's got recessed Allen key type screws in here so that you can tighten or back off the screw to adjust the height of this panel so that this panel is flush, absolutely flush with this deck. Now, to somebody who hasn't used this type of access panel on a table saw might say, well, hey, you know, if it's down below the deck of the table, it's okay because now the material won't catch it, right? Problem is what you guys just saw on camera there was that little sliver of wood that was coming off. It dropped down here. See if I can turn that camera a little bit. It dropped down back here on the exit side, and these screws are out of adjustment. This panel's down below. It's actually up here, but it's below back here, and it caught this edge. Now, me just looking at it right now, I just noticed that there's actually a missing piece here. There's a, I'm not really sure actually why this is where it is, but nevertheless, that's a problem. That is a problem. We got to figure out a way. See, here is even not flush, and that piece of wood got jammed there, and it's happened to my father. If this wood gets jammed and gets cockeyed in between the fence and the blade is going to grab the material and throw it right back at you, okay? Hit you right in the gut, break your hip, and all kinds of things. What happened to my father was exactly that. Got bound up, the blade chucked it up, and he tried to hold the wood back from hitting him, which was, you know, it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. You're trying to get the wood from hitting you, but what happened was his hand came around like this, right into the blade, right into the blade. And yeah, did permanent damage to his thumb. He's lost all of his feeling, and I think he cut 3 major tendons or something like that in here. And yeah, so these tools, from first-hand experience, no pun intended, really dangerous. They really, really are dangerous. So yeah, I was kind of thinking, I was kind of thinking back when that happened to my father. Is this about to happen to me right now? So yeah, just be very careful with these machines. They don't feel your pain. They don't hesitate, you know. So anywho, back to original program. So I've got this thing pretty much squared up to the best I can, and to, you know, the way I feel is it's more than enough as far as the dimension of this. Now what I need to do is I need to run these apologize for that, the camera just glitched out on me again. I need to run these 1x4 pieces of pine through here because they all have like a semi-rounded edge on them, and I want to make sure I put them through here, get a nice square edge, so that when I mate them up to the back here, I can screw in from the back and get a nice clean look. And all these sniped corners here aren't going to be a big deal because those little 1-bys are going to be in here, and none of this is going to be visible. Even this one here could have a little opening there, but when I take the PVC piece of the wall, because there's a PVC sheeting on the wall, I also brought that with me as well, so that I can put that on the inside, and that should help straighten all that out. So I'll be with you guys in just a moment. So I just realized before I go and start applying some of these pine pieces to this back, I need to pay attention here, and think I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity of this plywood backing not being complicated by other parts connected to it, and I'm going to try to use that as a way to get this PVC back, this little backsplash thing, kind of, you know, get at least 1 or 2 square edges on it so that I can, you know, just run it through here. So let's see what happens here. Well, turns out that's fiberglass, not PVC. Whew, that stuff stinks. I'm gonna be itching for days. Man, yuck. I know likey. Okay. See if I can just get this over with. Now we can get on to the 1x. It's much more pleasant to smell. That's why. Here, I'm just about ready to pick on this thing for having a weak clamp. And it was my weak camera location. Let me see if I can get you guys set up in a better spot. Might not be as much of a close-up. Well, maybe. I might be able to do. I can get you as close as I can without you getting bopped in the head with the motor on the miter saw here. That's two of Dame. right. So we've got the pieces fed back. So I guess what I'll do, I'm going to try to get this back all put together here. I'm trying to think. I have zero workspace. For somebody who used to be a carpenter for 16 years, you'd think we'd have a real working surface, but we've kind of changed from full-time carpentry to full-time flailing at the wheel. So we don't wear the same hat every day for much more than probably 10 minutes at a time. Yeah, DIY everything. So it's always exciting around here, at least to somebody on the outside looking in. We're always doing something different. It's kind of gets old to us. But honestly, if I was in the 9-to-5 grind, I'd probably be complaining about that too, right? So just give me a couple minutes here to get you guys set up in a spot again. And I think I'm gonna temporarily convert this table saw into a little bit of a workbench so I can get this thing glued and screwed together. I'll be with you in a minute. All right, we're almost there, almost to the next step anyway. Okay, so those are gonna have to be recut to size once I establish the actual length here in between. Ooh. That's a little more watery than I thought it would be. Huh. Well, it's been inside in the warmth, so I guess it's kind of sort of to be expected. Ooh. All right. Where to put the glue? There it is. Just got to thinking I should have put that knot right here on the back side, but not worth the aggravation now trying to change that around. See if I can get this pocket screw to grab the... Oh, it did. Nice. Wasn't sure if it was gonna be rejected by that hard knot wood there. Right now, ten and a quarter light. And a quarter. All right. So it's that one up to 10 and a quarter. Good. Okay. That's just because these pieces here have a cup in them. If I had new knives in that, I have a small rigid surface planer over there. If I had new knives in that baby, I probably would have run these through a little bit to see if I can get that cup to go away. But this is only 3/4 inch material, and I'm already kind of at a minimum there for using screws to hold this stuff together. And we don't have enough of the right size nails to go. Right. Need a new square drive bit. All the deck screws we've been using for putting up horse fencing I think this square drive bit's been a little overused. Ideally, I'd like to be using staples. Just don't have any. Well, don't look so hot on the outside of this box, but it looks like a box on the inside. That's what I meant to say there. Getting by, getting by. And trying to hover over this table saw here. Awkward angle trying to work on the knees. All right, flush there. That's not a screw gun. Oh, that's too funny. Should have brought some water out here in a plastic cup or something to help wipe down this glue. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a box now. Oh. Whew. Oh. All right, I'm going to give my knees a break here, and I'll get back with you in a minute. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna dry fit everything. I was half tempted to glue everything together and get it all one piece. But my concern is that if I do that and I need to make any changes to this, you know, like pop these screws out here that hold the frame together, I may have to stand this up on edge like this and run it through a saw to make this box shallower to clear the hydrant. Now tomorrow when I go to do this install, I'm going to bring you guys along, which I'm not sure if I'm going to edit this in a way that this is seamless and goes right through to the install, as far as keeping this part of the video informing you of any of this, you know, how can I say, basically a dry build, not anything, you know, set in stone. So I'm gonna get this screwed together, make sure the 45s look like they're gonna meet up okay. And I think, oh, actually, we'll put the fiberglass back in here, and yeah, we'll get that squared away. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure if I want to leave this like a raw wood look or if I want to paint this. I'm gonna have to see if I have any like a white paint that I might be able to maybe put a coat of paint on it since it's nice and dry in here, and clean it up and then put the back in. Because once I put that fiberglass back in, I don't want to paint on top of that fiberglass, because I think there's like a gel coat on it, and I'm not sure how the paint is going to adhere to that gel coat. I don't know if there's any sort of like a prepping thing you need to do to gel coat for certain types of paint to stick to it. So instead of getting caught up in all that, all those uncertainties, so I'm going to put these, actually no, I'm going to dry fit everything, so I'm going to need these screws anywho. So, alright, well let's get to putting this thing together. Hopefully the battery holds out. I'm at about 15%. So let's see if we can get this thing together before it all falls apart as far as the battery holding out. Oop, daggone it. Alright, so I've got this all dry fit. Everything looks pretty good. I think what I'm gonna do, I was actually gonna assemble this whole face frame as far as, you know, like gluing it, getting it all put together. I think I'm gonna leave all of this just screwed on dry for the purpose of disassembling, because I want to make sure that if they ever have to take that hydrant apart, they're not going to have any difficulties. I may make whichever, this side or this side, whichever one I end up deeming the top or the bottom of the cubby, I want to make sure whichever one is the top is going to be the permanent one that's glued on. This one, and the bottom one, I would like to make it so that they can come off separately. Because if they have to take these two and this one off, and then use this kind of as a handle, per se, to pull the cubby out and remove it from the cavity, they can do that. If I make the bottom one, or either one of these two, or all of the three, for that matter, permanent, this here pushing against the wall is going to kick this bottom corner up, so in an upward position, and that's going to make this come up and hit the cavity of the wall where the plywood is for the wall, and it's not going to allow you to, it's going to get bound up in there. So I just want to be sure that I don't leave them in a situation where, you know, if they're in an emergency situation and they need to, if their hydrant for some reason has a malfunction and it's in the on position, that, you know, they can handle the situation quickly. Not that they can't go inside, you know, and shut off the water main coming out to the barn, which obviously would be the very first thing you do. But, you know, like I said, I just want to make sure that I'm covering all of the bases to make this a good thing for them, not a headache. So, yeah, I think that's really all gonna do with that. I may drill some holes in the corners here, pre-drill a little bit, and get the screws to go in below the surface without splitting this wood. I want it to be more of a clamping type of thing. So I'm gonna do that probably on all four corners, and those will also be able to be removed, and we're gonna put the back in. So just give me a few minutes. I'm gonna need to get a dimension here for what that back is gonna wind up being. So it looks like 10 1/4. Hey, Oscar, buddy. What are you doing, man? Okay, I'll put you guys in a minute. Give Daddy a minute. I know, all the smell and the noise and the dust. Alright, so that's still a little tight. Okay, still take a hair off there, which was to be expected. Okay. Hi, honey. How you doing, pretty girl? Huh? How's Daddy's girl doing? I wanted to bring you guys out here for a little bit so you didn't think Daddy died or something. Died and went away. Alright, so there it is. Got the fiberglass back in there. Not quite like a knot on a tree, but it's the best I could do with using fiberglass. Come on now. Now it's not going to come back. There we go. Alright, so let's see if I can clean the schmutz off of this thing. Mucho better. Put a little bit of Phenol caulk around that seam in there. Cool. Let you guys see my my kids. Here's Oski Woski. That's little Oscar. He's not afraid of the camera. Yeah, he's curious. And there's my Timber. Right, Timby? Your daddy's girl. You gonna come up say hi? Huh? You gonna come up say hi? Come here. Up, Daddy. Oh, good girl. Yeah, she's a mini Australian Shepherd. And she's my baby. That's my Timber. Yep, Daddy's sidekick. Loves hanging out with Daddy. I just don't want her out here too much with that fiberglass dust and stuff flying all over the place. That stuff get caught in her paws, and I'm not even worried about her tracking it all over the place. I just don't want those fibers in her paws. So yeah, Daddy's girl, huh? Yeah. All right, and then Oscar. He is from some of our very close friends up in New York State, and he likes to be behind you. He always... He is such a goofball. He's a great dog. I don't know what he is. He's a whole bunch of things. Dachshund and a few other things. So, yep, he's a mutt. But I love the mutts. They tend to be the best as far as personality. So, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen. That's where it's going to be for the night. And tomorrow, I think tomorrow we'll see how this install goes. I think it'll be pretty easy. I might take this thing partially apart and throw a sander on it if I can find some sandpaper. But that's where I'm going to leave it for today, and we'll get back at it. Hey everybody, I just wanted to cut in here at the end of this video to apologize. I was supposed to have had some pictures from the install as to what this was going to look like. And for some reason, I can't seem to find them in my phone to upload to this software. So at a later date, I believe these customers may have me come back for some other projects on their farm. And while I'm there, I will make sure that I get some pictures of that cubby in the wall there, and put it on maybe a later video or something. So that's all I wanted to say, and thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll be able to get you some more good content coming up with some of these other projects I have going on, one of which is just a couple days from now. So I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.